It has been a really long time since I posted a video, and we're going to talk about that. But first, check out this new opener of mine. All right, so yeah, I think it's been, I don't know, over 2 years since I posted my last video. Might be coming up on 3. It's been a long, long time. And even in that time that I haven't been posting anything, I've still been getting, subscribers here and there, and some great comments on some of the videos. So, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation, and it's been long enough, and things are starting to line up where I can have a little more time to start doing more videos. So I am going to do that, although the format's probably going to change a little bit, and I'll explain about that later in the video. All right, so let's go back about, I don't know, like I said, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Right around the time I posted my last video, I had just got laid off from a really good job, actually. And so, I had to switch gears from making videos to looking for a new job. And I know people are going to say you should have, try to do the YouTube channel, and you're right, I probably should have. Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time, and starting to think about it now. But yeah, so I was unfortunately laid off from a really good job, and it took me about 6 months to find another job, which is nowhere near making as the money I was making at the other job. Well, it's a job, and it pays more than unemployment. So, but in between getting laid off and finding this current job, a lot of things happened. And we'll start with the not so good stuff. I did have to go have gallbladder surgery. I had to have my gallbladder removed. It was inflamed and full of stones. And unfortunately, the first surgery didn't go well, or didn't go right. When I went back for my 2-week follow up, I was kind of starting to swell up a little bit. Things weren't going right, and so yeah, they had to go back in, and apparently they kind of left a clip on them during the first surgery they weren't supposed to, and second doctor had to go in and go in and fix that, basically. So yeah, thank you to that second surgeon. Not gonna mention any names right now, but yeah, he saved my life. So that happened. And then, of course, the medical bills piled up. But thankfully, we have a great community of friends and family around us here that rallied around us and got us through that first month of medical bills. Yeah, very, very gracious people in our lives. And we couldn't be more thankful for that. So another thing that started happening around that time was a friend of mine who's a drummer. His name's Troy. Um, him and I started getting together and kind of jamming on cover tunes and playing along the backing tracks, and tossing around ideas of possibly going out and maybe doing a gig here or there, and just him and I on stage with backing tracks, that kind of thing, and seeing if we could draw any other musicians into the fold with us. We were doing some pretty cool songs, and I think we were both having a good time, getting together once a week, jamming. It was a good release, like it always is. But at the same time, Troy and I started getting together and jamming. A mutual friend of ours started up a game of Gloomhaven in preparation for the release of Frosthaven. Now, if you're not familiar with Gloomhaven or Frosthaven, they're card-based kind of, I can't really say role-playing game, but card-based kind of games. Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff. So we were all getting together over at our mutual friend's house. Troy, myself, and another guy named Casey that had been playing with our mutual friend, and we kind of met through there. And so at some point, Casey dropped the hint that he could play guitar and sing. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Let's hear some stuff. And he played some stuff for us, and just some stuff he'd recorded on his phone of him and his acoustic guitar. And Troy and I were immediately like, yeah, why don't you come over and jam with us, dude? You know, because really good voice, and we knew it right off the bat. And so yeah, he started coming over, and we were kind of just goofing around with cover tunes, you know, and he was kind of joined us in the project we had going. And I think we did the cover thing for maybe a month, maybe two. It wasn't very long, but we were getting together like every week and jamming. You know, we're taking it seriously. And then all of a sudden, Casey announces to us that he has quit his day job and he's taken a year off, and he wants to record a 10-song album. And so Troy and I immediately are like, hell yeah, let's do this, because we already knew what his voice was like. We couldn't imagine what it was going to be like, you know, working with that voice in a creative capacity. And so yeah, we switched gears, and we changed from a cover band project to an original project overnight. Yeah, and we went into it, you know, excited. And so the first time we got together, Casey brought some songs over that he had been working on, something he had for quite some time. And we just started working, and he just played maybe the first 2-3 songs that he had lined up. And it's something that, well, at least we feel, it's not only, you know, special and rare when you find a talent like that. Not to knock Troy's talent on drums or anything. Troy's a phenomenal drummer. But when you have a lead vocalist, somebody who can really belt it out and sing their ass off, that's a rare and precious find sometimes. You know, there's a lot of great singers out there. I know that, but you know, when you're two guys playing, you know, cover tunes in a casita that's been turned into a home studio in Laveen, Arizona, and somebody like Casey kind of steps in with a voice like that. When you hear that kind of voice, you grab onto it with both hands, and you want to protect it, but at the same time nurture it and work with it in that creative capacity. And so we started working on that first batch of songs, and fell into a groove. You know, as a trio, we fell into a groove with each other. And at this point, especially, and you know, we've been working together for going on 2 years now. And even at that early stage, we immediately kind of got each other's sensibilities, and we understood each other's vibes, and the creative process just started rolling. And so, you know, we were just working and working and working, and you know, between day job and studio stuff and working on the music and trying to get back around and shoot YouTube videos, it just kind of took a back seat. You know, it took a back seat to all the other project stuff that was going on. I was having a hard time. I realized it when I saw that I was still getting a couple of subscribers every month, and still getting a couple of comments every month. I realized that I needed to find a way to start making content again, at least for my channel. The band has its own channel. The band's name, by the way, is The Cold Front. Casey came up with the name, and we tossed around a bunch of different names, but yeah, eventually we settled on The Cold Front. And you know, if you go out and check out our music, it suits the band, I think, in a, you know, existential maybe kind of way, a little bit. And so as we got to working on the songs, we, you know, eventually whittled them down to the 10 that we wanted to be on the album. And then we whittled that further down to, okay, which ones do we think we could probably finish first? Which ones are not, you know, gonna be easier to finish first, and which ones are gonna take a lot more work? And then even then, we whittled that down to, okay, what should be the band's first single, right? What song's gonna give a good representation of what's to come from the band if you hear the first single? Is it gonna sound like, okay, I get it? Do they have a sound already? And yeah, I think for, as you know, young and fledgling of a type band we are at the moment, we found a sound that we can say is us, which I think makes the songs a little more interesting. We also tend to write songs that are a little bit longer in length, so you know, somewhere between 4 and 6 minutes. You know, we're not making 2 or 3 minute pop tunes. That's not because we don't want to make 2 or 3 minute pop tunes, or we're against it in any kind of way. That just hasn't been our style. Casey's a really good storyteller, and so he comes with a framework of a song, and then we kind of build it around the lyrics, is to illustrate, audibly anyway, the story that's being told, and we hope to come across with kind of a cinematic style to our sound, very big, kind of wide and impactful music, music that's kind of orchestrated like an orchestra, where you got a kind of a conductor doing the big booms and crashes, and so and a lot of that, our drummer Troy, but the amount of time that guy spends maybe working on one fill just to make sure he gets exactly what the song needs. He's one of the best drummers I've worked with. Yeah, he's not just a drummer. He is a fully formed musician in that sense. So, okay, I'm gushing over the band and the guys, right? And yeah, because it's fresh and new to me. We did just released our first single, June 7th. The song's called Winter, and I'll put the links and band information down in the description area below too, so you can go down there and check out the band's sites and pages, and you can check out the single Winter, streaming on all the platforms. And that brings me to the next part of the video, which is the future of this channel and what I'm thinking about doing with it and how I'd like to use it going forward. And since I'm just getting back into it and figuring out how to get it into my schedule so that I can post regularly, I'm going to try to work something, that's a little more probable for me. So maybe one video a week to start off with, it will be a good goal. And maybe that's what I'll shoot for. Yeah, that sounds like a realistic goal. I can shoot for one video a week, I think. Now, as far as content goes, what I want to do, at least initially, probably going to wind up being a whole variety of things. But initially, I would like to kind of have this channel be a perspective or an insight of what it's like kind of working in a trio, working in a band and writing original music together, about all the things that go well and about all the things that don't necessarily go well and how you get through those together as a band. And like every band, we're gonna have we'll have our challenges. And I think, luckily for us at this point, there's a lot of reference material for us about how not to be. And then just generally, I think the three of us are all around just generally good people. We're sane, we're rational, and we understand that it's a bigger force than any just one of us. It's all three of us, and it's it's our cumulative energies coming together. It's that thing that happens when a band, when people get together and they start writing music. Yeah, it's an awesome experience. It's a good time, and I think I want the channel to be about initially that anyway. So, and providing at least 1/3 of an insight into a trio, and then see where we go from there. See what people get interested in. I'm just going to post a whole variety of content around that, around the band, and around the band's experiences. And you never know, maybe we could inspire somebody down the road, answer some questions for some folks, just generally be helpful to the community and somehow, and, give back in our own little way, I guess. That would just be awesome. That'd be great. But one other thing that just came to mind too is I'll probably do some videos on, breaking down the guitar parts for the band's original music. So yeah, some guitar tutorials maybe down the road, tablatures. We might even do some of me in the kitchen cooking some of my favorite recipes. Okay, so one more time to everybody who subscribed to the channel, thank you for motivating me to get off my ass and start making some YouTube videos, which I'm going to do. And for all the great comments and great feedback, I really appreciate it. And I hope bringing the channel back, at least in this format, will be a nice way of saying thanks to you guys. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Be kind to each other. Be kind to the planet.